Joining me today to preview the 2012 baseball season is head coach Gregg Thompson. Coach, let's take a step back to last year. At times, the squad struggled at the plate and on the pitcher's mound. What were some of the things that you and the team learned last year that will make you better this year?
Well, we've got to be better with runners in scoring position. We obviously weren't very good last year. We struggled to score runs in those situations. We just didn't come up with the big hits that we needed to. And if you look at our record and look who we beat, we were capable of beating the good teams on any given day, and we were capable of losing to the bad teams on any given day. And I just think we learned that you got to show up every day, especially in this league, with your best effort in order to give yourself a chance to win.
You talked about the team had some big hits last year. I mean, traditionally, your teams have always been an offensive-minded team, put up some big numbers. However, this year the team doesn't return a 300 hitter on the squad. Is that an area of concern for you?
Well, it's probably the first time in my tenure that we haven't returned at least one, if not two or three guys that hit 300. Now, the bats had something to do with it last year. We didn't adapt very well to the bats, and that's not an excuse. So we're going to have to get better. But some of the guys, when we look at last year's breakdown of numbers, I mean, guys are in and out of the lineup. We have 300 hitters. I mean, we just didn't produce last year. It was an off year for us. But of course, when you don't return any guys that are all conference type players, there's some concern what direction we're going.
If there is one player on this team who has the potential for the big offensive year and put some big numbers up, it's got to be first baseman Dalton Newell. He's always seemed to be on the edge of that breakout year, but it's never all the way come through yet. What do you see from him this year?
Well, he's a senior. As he's proven here in the last 3 weeks or so since we've been going, is that he's the leader of this team. What Colton's going to have to do is understand what his role on the team is, and we can't have him strike out 40 times this year and expect us to have a great year. It is what it is with these bats. We got to be able to move the ball backside. We got to be able to do some things. But he's our one legitimate threat in the lineup to get the ball in the gap on a consistent basis, hit it out of the yard, and we're going to expect him to have a big year.
That's Dalton Newell. The team also has some other seniors and juniors. Who are some of those players that the fans will get to know this year?
Well, as we go around and we talk, Todd Spadero has worked extremely hard to get himself into the starting rotation and have a big year, and we're looking forward to that. A guy that I'm hoping has a breakout year. He's had his opportunity to start, hasn't really taken the most advantage of it. Is J.P. Finicum. I'm hoping that J.P. who's going to work in at third base and start for us at third base on opening day. He has all the tools. Now can he get the mental makeup and all that to give himself an opportunity to have a good year. Alex Vaquero is coming off of a year where he saw his job get taken away from him and worked extremely hard in the off season, and he's come back and he's going to get a chance to start on opening day and prove what he can do. So those are the senior guys that are going to get the opportunity to do that. The other two, Josh Eckert and Joe Jenkins, those guys are gonna fill their roles where they are. But Matty Connor comes back as a sophomore behind the dish. We've got the outfielders that are strong, and Nick Raymond, and Darren Garrett. Michael Lynn started for us last year, and T.J. Hauser. That Will Simpson, the second base, made one error for us. Now we got to try to combine some offensive numbers with that defense, and looking forward to Dirk Malone, Zach Seaman, guys getting the opportunity there. So, we've got an athletic group. I think we're going to talk here in a little bit about our pitching, and we'll go into depth with that. We have an athletic group defensively. Now, can we buy into what we're trying to do defensively and offensively? It's going to dictate what kind of year we have.
Speaking of pitching, the team returns basically intact from last year. I mean, a big loss with Nathan Van Meter at the top of that rotation, but behind Nathan, your top other three starters are all back. The bullpen looks back intact. Will this be a strength of the team this year?
Oh, without a doubt. I mean, we've got 8 guys we're counting on. We're moving Max from a position to Colton Maxwell from a position to pitcher and DH. That strengthens us in that spot. But yeah, as I told the guys the other day, they've got good stuff. It's not like we're asking guys that are average pitchers to go out and get people out. They have good stuff. Now, what I saw last year is that we didn't compete. You know, when times got tough, it was easy for us to throw in right down the middle or sulk or pout, and all of a sudden we're giving up 4 or 5 runs an inning, and you're out of the ball game. So, you know, we've got to find a way to limit those innings. But as you go and you look at Alex Van Dyne, Matty Free, Colton Maxwell, Logan Addison, Michael Congrove, I mean, we've got guys that have proven that they can get people out at this level. We just need to do it consistently.
You know, opening day now, just a little over 2 weeks away. What positions on this team are set, and which ones are there still battles taking place for?
Well, I'll tell you as of right now, Colton Newell is going to start at first. Matty Connor's going to start behind the dish. Alex Vaquero is going to start somewhere in the outfield, and we're still battling from there on out. So, I mean, as I said, we have an athletic group. What our best mix is going to be determined. Of course, you know, we're in Ohio, and getting outside on the field is not happening. We've been out on the turf and doing some things, so we're still battling out as we speak.
You know, the Muskies once again is going to face a tough and challenging schedule at the Snowbird Classic down in Port Charlotte, Florida. At the end of that 8-game stretch, what is it that you want to know about this team?
Well, the thing we're shooting for is, can we make the routine play 100% of the time, and can we pick up runners in scoring position? I think those are the 2 things that we have to do. And when I say the routine play, it's the routine ball that's fielded and thrown. It's the routine pitch. It's not walking people. I don't think we are good enough at any facet of the game to just take day off, take an inning off, take an out off, and expect to win. I mean, we've got to go hard for 9 innings, and I think it's a group that will. The question is, are we talented enough to make the routine play and beat people?
You know, we've talked about some of the returning players. Are there some new faces to the program that the fans might see this year?
Well, you know, we started all those young kids last year, and you know, you're going to see, I've already answered. I don't know who's starting it. I would imagine Will Simpson's going to start second. People have seen him. You know, Dirk Malone came on at the end of the year last year. He's penciling in to start shortstop opening day. That's going to be some new faces. You know, we've got a good group, but when you start at most time last year, we started 6 freshmen towards the end of the year. You know, it's hard for guys to break in, but in terms of new faces, you know, we lost you know, a couple seniors last year that played for 3 and 4 years, and you know, we're going to have to replace those with guys that people haven't seen before.
Yeah, if the Muskies are going to compete for an OAC championship this year, what will the team have to do throughout the season?
We're going to have to be consistent. I mean, that's just one thing we weren't last year. One day we would show up, and as you and I have talked, Tom, and you'd say, man, where did that effort come from? And we were capable of that effort every day. We just didn't give it. And you know, as we saw last year, when you don't show up and give effort in this league, you're going to get beat. I mean, we jumped out of the gate, I think 0-5 in the league before we went up at Mount Union. We just can't do that. You know, we've got to get off to a good start, and getting off to a good start starts down on opening day against Medina on Sunday down in Florida. So the league's tough. The league's talented, and we're just going to have to get ourselves ready to battle through it.
Yeah, finally, Coach, the baseball program undertook a tremendous fundraising campaign last year to raise money for a state-of-the-art press box and media center and the slat-back seating for most Moorhead Field venue. Can you talk about that project and not only what it means for the baseball program but for the university?
Well, it started as a lead gift 2 years ago, and I approached the university about it, and you know, it took a while to get through and get going, and then I went to the alums and my other donors, and they jumped in on the project. It is just unbelievable for the program. It puts us right up there as one of the best facilities in our league. Definitely, and you know, and our league has the best facilities around. So it was important to get not only the program, the press box going, but we started that Facebook page. Now we've gotten 90 friends on our Facebook page, guys that were in the program before, even before me, and we're getting to know, and it's bringing that Muskie baseball community back together. I know the administration has jumped in on this and run with it, and I think the fans, when they show up, are going to be extremely impressed at how the project turned out.
Coach, thank you for joining me on the Muskie Sports Blast, and good luck this year.
Thanks, Tom.